Okay, so what I want to do now is the no-gi version of the same thing we were working on, right? So some of the techniques, they travel very nicely from gi to no-gi. They often complete relatively the same, but when you're looking for a technique, a true technique, something that can be applied almost anywhere or practically anywhere, and it holds true over many different cases, then you found something that has a really strong utility. Okay, so when we're working on something, we want to look for these small items that hold true in many of these different use cases. Can you go for the turtle position, please, again, Gil? So remember, I've got to pry this open. Let's look at it a different way, actually. Can you switch your elbow to the outside? Okay, so sometimes the guy defends like this as well. So there's more than one way to defend the turtle position. Okay, sometimes the guy tucks his elbows over his legs, which I don't personally think this is, for this type of reaction, what I'm going to be doing, this would not be the best sort of defense. It certainly would be on the inside. But nonetheless, we have to look at some different scenarios. So I'm going to put my knee through the space and capture the wrist. So as I come over, look, I'm holding the wrist, right, to try and get this arm out. But first, I got to get that knee in, right? So close the space, please. So the knee comes in because it's matching the line of the arm. Now when I pry it out, I can turn to get the elbow separated from the lat, and my arm can slip through the space and I can hold the wrist. Then I can pop the wrist under. So I'm taking this grip and wrapping it, so that way my knee can then replace the control. There's my first replacement. The arm is now isolated. I'm going to put my hand on the back of the shoulder and drag him down by pulling him back. Then my knees replace again to the same isolated item. Okay, so the knee comes in, I switch, and now I work my hand into the neck. So let's just turn. When I work my hand into the neck, I need to draw his attention to the defense on that neck. That means this arm is going to have to try to free itself, but it's trapped. So that means we have a fumble now. When the guy is fumbling the position, it gives me ahead of the remainder of the game. Okay, so I want to get ahead of his thinking process. So as he's working here, I'm getting closer and closer to the submission. Ultimately, the hand's blocked, which gets me access. But remember, as I sit back, the hand's going to become free. But I'm doing this intentionally, remember. Hand comes in, I sit back to put the first hook. I'm already working the choke now, so this hand is now lagging behind. And as the hand's defending, watch the second hook. Hand comes up to defend, second hook comes in, now you complete the back of the choke. That's how you do it no-gi.